they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
He signed, all done, all dusted. Danny Ings has signed. We have a new striker in the club. Fantastic. Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. But Danny Ings has signed, officially signed. Let's put it on. He has signed officially. I'll put some pictures up. Actually, let's just share the screen. It'll be easier. Let's make that full screen so you can see. Save as image. Oh, I'll just make it full screen. I'll just make it full screen. Full screen. There we go. Let's just share the screen. A lot easier, innit? A lot easier. Share screen. Add to screen. There we go. On the official website, Danny Ings has signed. West Ham are delighted to announce the signing of proven Premier League striker Danny Ings. The senior international was joined on an undisclosed fee until the summer of 2025. We're led to believe that is about £12 million with £3 million add-on. All the paperwork was submitted ahead of the midday deadline. So he has signed. He has signed and he can play. Ings can play on Saturday. It was submitted before. That's the important thing. That's the important thing. He has submitted it. So that's fantastic news. Great news. It's someone we've been wanting to. He's come. He said, I'm really excited to join West Ham. We who wear the number 18 shirts. It's important I settle in as quickly as possible and do the important stuff on the pitch. We've got some massive games ahead of us and I've come to try and score as many goals as I can to help the team. I'm really looking forward to getting things started. Moisey said, I'm really pleased to add Danny to the squad. Proven striker, competition for places. We're looking forward to integrating him into the club. I'm going to nick that picture. I like that picture. I'm going to nick that. There we go. We've done it. If you go on to the West Ham on the West Ham Network, we put a little thing out. Actually, what I might do, I might show that in a minute. Actually, let's see if I can upload that. Well, that's great news, isn't it? Good news, isn't it? That is good news. That is good news. Let's see what we've got. Hi Russ. Hope Red State is taking over the summer and wants Napoli. Well, the Napoli link is a strange one. It's not that something I would say. So basically, the Napoli sporting director, apparently there's interest in him from West Ham's new owners, but they haven't said who the new owners are. So if it's the new owners or if it's the new regime, it's very strange. I think it's a bad move having Moyes take charge of a must-win game. Yeah, I understand that. But we'll see. I'd rather have him than the Brothers Grimm from the Booze Channel. We love Nick. We love Nick and his flat cap. So what happens to Nobes? Oh, I don't know. Right. Yes. He did. Toby's in the house. Nice to see you. I wonder if we'll get a loan signing on talk. Possibly. We'll talk about Hammer's headlines later on today. I think there could be a possibility for a loan signing. Possibly. I think you're looking at something which could happen on the loan deal. We'll wait and see. Let's look. They're going for Harry Suter. Indeed. Evening, Neil. Hopefully we've got some nice news for you. Waiting for. It's always there late for once. Yeah, late. They said we signed him yesterday. Just said he's signing time. He has the website. The official website said it. Ralph's in the chat. GP's here. Great news. It is great news. Welcome, Danny Ings, indeed. Ariona apparently injured. Fabianski doubts. No, he's not. Afternoon all. Moyes will play him. I'm looking forward to it. Will he, though? That's the thing. And Anton, I know he's down there, but his device isn't connected, so he's not coming on yet. But me and him had a bit of a debate last night about if he starts or not. You'll have to wait and see the show tomorrow. We'll put up. Liquid lunch from me. I'm coming. Yeah, I know you're coming on. Anton says I'm coming. You're coming on, but you haven't got a thing. It's just not connected. So come back on. Right, let's go. Good signing indeed. Turn the tunes down. They're on like 4. It's on like 4. Stop moaning. You're like my mother. West Ham are still going down. Boycott the club. Or I to go now. Thank you, Paul. Hope you're well. Says he doesn't want to sell until there's a replacement. So if there is for Dawson, well, apparently, according to Talksport's Alex Crook, he it sounds like there's. Although the Dawson fee has been agreed, it sounds like there's a hold up on the West Ham side. Now, we talk about one of the potential replacements that we speak about. I'll talk about that Hammers headlines later on today. But apparently it's on the West Ham side, so it'd be interesting. I wanted this guy for years. Danny and Bowen up front, not a lot of height there. When does Russ prank call West Ham Fan TV? What? Can I do that? Oh, that's cool. Except 3.3 million, indeed. I couldn't hear you properly. Sorry. You're just like my mum. Turn the noise down, Russ. Afternoon, Moyes will start. I see. Me and Anton. This is the mass debate we had. See, no, I can't. Anton, I can't get you on. It says device unconnected. Is it? I mean, he's 30 years old, so he can come in and play. You know, he knows the Premier League, he knows the game. You know, Everton's one of his favourite teams to score against. Does that mean that he comes straight into the side? I don't think he's got time to do it. So we'll see. I don't know. I heard Craig is to be sold. Yeah, £3.3 million Wolves have agreed for the 32-year-old. But apparently, by all accounts, there's a bit of a hold-up on the West Ham side. Well done, Anton. He's done the thing. He's done it. He's a good boy. He's a good boy, Anton. I did set it all up for him, but he did the rest. And he took a good picture as well. That's good. Well done. Good boy, Anton. Good boy. He's done the thumbnail. But anyway, what do we think? What do you think about Danny Ings? Are you excited? I'm excited. It's the last time I've had a decent. I mean, he's the last of a dying breed. Is that a nice way to say it in terms of being a? I'm just going to post actually something as well. I found an old video of his doing classic skills school when he was playing for Bournemouth Kids on the Sky Sports. I'm just going to upload that. I'll put it on the West Ham community website. So keep an eye out for that. It's quite funny. They probably because he wins. But yeah, so. Are you excited? I mean, great point by GP. Solid signing. He could be, and I think there's another one to come. Whether it is Moffey, whether it is maybe Zaniolo from Roma, plus someone like Skamaka coming back, plus getting rid of Antonio. I think it's a complete role reversal. There we go. In other news, Russ is poised to swap DJ Bruce for the touchline. Oh, I'd love to. Get me on there. I'd tell him. Come on, boys, you can do it. Is Danny going to put a plus Aka Iva Zamorano? That's a blast in the past. The Inter Milan striker. Obviously, was it Ronaldo had number 9 at the time? So he wanted to say 18 and put a little plus in the middle. I like True, made it sound like yeah, exactly. Is it true you've been offered the Radio 2 job? What, to take over from what's his face? He's gone to Greatest Hits. I have not been offered the job. We'll play for the draw so we can get the Everton job. Well, we're not going to get crosses in, so why not try it? Good, fair play, solid signing. Play to feet. Ings is the fox in the box we've always wanted. Probably the lot. Defoe, Hernandez, but we never really played to his strengths. The thing that worries me about Ings at the moment, and tomorrow's game, I think the fact is he'll play tomorrow. He won't then play the Derby game because he's cup tied, I think. So he comes back in for the Newcastle game, I think, is next after that. But he hasn't got time to come in and, I mean, he's best playing a front two, isn't he? Really, Ings is. But he's not going to be. It's how he's utilised next. That's what I think. He'll be on the bench. And then once he's on the bench, good boy, Anton. He's changed. He's good. Anton. And I think he'll come off the bench. But anyway, first proven striker we've signed in decades. First proven striker I'd say since Hernandez. But we never played to his strengths. I'm bloody nice to see, Matt. You're bloody ecstatic. Proven striker on par, and you like Vardy, on par with Vardy. Fair play. I'm happy with Danny Ings. Yes, he's 30, but he can score goals wherever he goes in his Premier. I mean, I've got the stats. Here's his stats. So here's his stats. He's played 350 games, 122 goals, 37 assists. That's 159 goal involvements in 350 games. So just less than 2 in 1. He's as someone says, wherever he's gone, he's scored, and he has 8 goals in 30 games for Bournemouth. Then he went to Burnley, Sean Dyche's Burnley. Just saying, 43 goals in 130 games. Then he went to Liverpool. Not a great time there, but he still and. He didn't really. That was when the injuries really happened. Then he went to Southampton. Ralph Hussler, wasn't it? He bought him 46 goals in 100 games, and then he moved very, very quickly to Villa for 14 goals in 52 games. I'm going to quickly, if I got it here, I will upload a little video I put together, which is actually on the West Ham. It's on the YouTube channel now, which goes through all you need to know about Danny Ings. So we might play that in a bit, because actually it gives you a little bit of information about Danny, the type of player he is, and things, and where he's come from, because I think that's really interesting to know where he's come from as a player. He's worked his way up. That's fair to say. He's really worked his way up. I think he was turned down originally by Southampton for being too small. They went to Bournemouth, and then had a great career. England international as well. How long for Moyes to take? Well, we'll have the press conference at 1:30, and then we'll be doing the review of the press conference with our special guest John T from the Football London. He'll be giving us his, and every week he'll be giving us his service of the press conference. Immediate reactions, because he'll be in the press conference. He's signed to the West Ham network now, which is great. Would be good if Ings had been in for the Leeds. Totally agree. Is Antonio going a dead cert or just rumours? I think it's dead cert. I reckon. Could Downs fill in at CD? Suchek. Declan Rice can fill in at CD, innit? Radio 2 will be a step down. Indeed, I wanted Ings for years. This might actually help Bowen's form, having someone to feed to. Someone in terms of the through balls, I agree. If Dawson leaves, who's going to take his position? I think that's part of the reason why there's a bit of a hold-up. And also today, I noticed today that Jakub Kilwa, who we've spoken about, the Polish centre-back, he looks like he's going to Arsenal for 20 or 25 million quid. See, told him. Will come on later than Anton, indeed. Play Ings as a 10 and play Bowen up front. I'm very excited to see him play, but will it save Moyes' job? Who knows? Join us tonight, Irish Tommy, for the Late Show. We'll be talking about El Sacico and all the stuff involved in the game coming up tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. Let's have a look. He's here again. Is it going to work this time? Yeah. Oh, that. Make your mind up.
Ings, oh, Danny Ings. La 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 la.
Ings can only get better.
Can only get better.
It's on the playlist. It's on the playlist for tomorrow.
Russ, I couldn't hear you when I jumped on, because you must have had the volume up so loud and everyone was trying to listen to you, and people were in the comments going, "Turn it down, Russ." So I jumped in. I put it to 4. I had to put it to 4 for you.
I did not take it down. I'm sorry, because sorry. I do.
It was really loud.
Oh well.
Really
loud. Oh well.
Ings is in.
Yeah, exactly. It's Sullivan's 53rd striker.
Yeah, that sort of stuff is ridiculous, though, isn't it? It's absolutely ridiculous. Listen, you're going to have the doubters. You're going to have this, that, whatever. I think it's a great signing. It's Premier League proven player. He's got, you said it, 6 goals, is it, this season so far?
Six in 18 this season, yeah.
And he's not started every single game.
No.
He has got a little bit of a history of an injury problem in the past, but they would have done a medical. He's obviously passed the medical. What's nice about this sort of player is it's the sort of player we've not actually... I'm trying to think of the sort of player I can relate him to in terms of who we've had in the past.
Defoe?
Yeah, because he gets in behind, doesn't he? He kind of runs little. It's like little steps. It's like little. He just knows how to get in behind defenders, and he's extremely clever at doing the job he's done. And when you're looking at I seen the slide you threw up there. That I mean, 8 goals and 30 appearances for Bournemouth, 43 and 130 for Burnley, 4 and 25 for Liverpool, 46 and 100 for Southampton, 14 and 52 for Villa. So, in theory, we do create chances. It's about converting those chances, and there you go. You've got someone who's got Premier League experience to do it. It's now a case of making sure that team play to his skill set and his ability, and also
that's the thing.
And also, when Scamacca comes back, playing to his ability and his strength, you never know. It could be the new Raspadorian Scamacca ish.
Well, I mean, we spoke about it the other day, didn't we? I know we know that he plays better when he's, traditionally Scamacca's played better when he's played with a second striker, and he can drop off and play the 10 role. And yeah, I mean, I think there's options there now. There's options. There's a plan B. Realistically, as a plan B, we've never really had. The plan B hasn't been around for a long time with us. It's usually one or the same. So you can play 2 up front with a genuine big man, little man, old school. I think there's another signing to come in the striker position as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So that will give us even more options. And yeah. It's all good, and he's signed in time to play on Saturday,
which is a Brucey bonus. Obviously, he's he's ready to go, and you know what, you can't. I'm not. You can't go down the route of saying bedding in because you've got Premier League experience now. So and as I said, we have a bit of a mass debate about it when we do our selected 11s. We sort of preempted the fact that Ings was happening, and we did it last night, and we both had different views of how it's going to happen. But we'll see, innit? We don't know. And the interesting thing is that we've played 19 games and it's not worked yet. However, we've had to change so many different things in those 19 games.
Yeah.
And in those 19 games, we've not had consistency in Scamacca playing regularly, Antonio playing regularly. And now we can't go into this game potentially with Scamacca out injured, Antonio potentially heading out the door and not getting and expecting a reaction with the same team.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to take on the chin. When you speak to a neutral fan, one of my mates who was professional and is not anymore, but takes an interest in West Ham because I'm a West Ham fan, and he's like, he just can't get his head around players like Ben Rama not playing week in and week out. Even if I turn around and I say to him things like, "But it's his final ball," he's like, "Doesn't matter." He gets on the ball and he creates opportunities. And then when you get players like that in your team, other players start to think like that, and it starts to snowball effect into what you're. It's easy for us to sit here, Russ, and say this is how it's going to work, and it might not. But, if we're going to try our best to turn the season around, signing a player like Danny Ings is a good signing for West Ham.
Well, it's and as we said last night when we were doing the recording, and I think Toby in the chat said it yesterday. If we signed it in the summer, I don't think it'll be not an inspirational sign. I think we'd be happy, but I don't think we'd be happy as it is now, being in January. I mean, I think it's a perfect January signing because he can come straight in and just hit the ground running. And he's, as you said, he's got form. He's on form at the moment. He has scored goals already this season, so it's all good, man.
What's interesting now really is what we do now. We've got a crazy weekend ahead of us. We all know that. It's going to be Willie won't he, stick or twist, will Ings start, Willie won't, will Moyes stay or Willie won't, if he doesn't, who's the new manager, all that sort of stuff we've got coming up. Then we're going into the final week of the transfer window, and we think we're going to be pretty active in it. We're kind of led to believe we are. And if we do bring in someone else up top, I think it's the right decision. If Antonio does go and we get a good fee for him, I think it's the right decision. But I think we lack that creativity on the wing. And I just think there's a player there. There must be an issue why we're not pushing really hard for Danjuma. I think he would be a very good option for West Ham, considering the deal is a loan to buy rather than an immediate option there, and then that would give us gives us an option that we don't have with Cornet, So look at that; it's a nice picture.
Oh. And I've just put up in the community tab a great video I found Ings doing skill school when he was at Bournemouth.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
team.
Yeah, Soccer
It's
AM,
brilliant. It's like 7 or 8 years ago. Soccer AM skill school, and it is hilarious because I think he wins. They pull his trousers down.
Plus, it must be even. It must be longer than 7-8 years.
Yeah,
ago.
I know. That was when it was uploaded. I think basically they went back, and I think there's like loads they put up there, like an old Raheem Sterling when he was a youth team player, and all stuff like that. But it's gonna be interesting. And now, obviously, that probably, in a weird, obviously, we've got the press conference coming up in about an hour or so. That will be obviously the main topic of conversation, won't it? About Ings. And so that deflects everything away from the press conference, really, because it's a huge thing, and it's a huge, what's going to be a weird day already tomorrow, because you've got obviously the David Gold, we'll be doing the tributes to him. Obviously the first home game since he passed. Then you've got the whole Danny Ing thing. Then you've got the whole El Sakiko thing. It's going to be a complete head fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think
crazy.
It is. We just have to, obviously, we'll have to bide our time with what decisions are made. As much as we all have an opinion, we don't really know what is going on. We don't really know if Ings is a Moyes signing or not. What will be interesting is to hear how Moyes is during the press conference. I think if he knows he's going, I think you could sense it. You might not be able to sense it. Russ, what's cool about the press conference, especially the show we're about to do, is obviously the partnership now. I don't know if you've told people that or not, or
just not officially, so to speak. But yes, we'll be. We've officially. Go on, you do it. Go on, you do it.
All right, you can do it. Speak. So yes, if you tune into the show later on for the press conference, we've hooked up now with an official partnership with Football London. So John T. Coleman, a good friend of the channel, he obviously attends the press conferences. So he's going to be giving us a little bit of video content coming from the presser, giving us his insight into it. Obviously, there's areas of the press conference that are embargoed, but there may be an element of how he can kind of allude to a few things for us, and then we'll go through the press conference, what David Moyes says. So make sure you do check out when that show does go live later on as well. But that kind of cool. throws the presser show more, makes it more. What's the word I'm looking for? Reputable, makes it more official, if that makes any sense. So,
yeah, it makes it more official. But also, it gives you somewhere. We only see what's being released by the club on the live stream, and what John T or Shane or someone would say in their live chat. But and obviously John T will not reveal embargo stuff, because that's embargo stuff. That's why that's his job. But in terms of the general, he'll be. There's only I don't know, a dozen or so people in that press conference, maybe 15, 20 people, and so he'll be able to give you first hand of the general vibe, how it feels, how Moyes feels, the general. Because I think that's stuff you can't get across. So again, that should be quite interesting to come across. Hope all the fans behave tomorrow and it doesn't turn into a Burnley fiasco. We don't know, do we, Ludders? We don't know, lads. We don't know what's going to happen.
I'll be honest. Tomorrow. I'll be honest, Ludders. Right? I'll be brutally honest here. For me personally, this is no comparison to the Burnley fiasco. Taking away even the whole David Gold tribute, I don't believe it for a second. I think that is something that's been maybe created from, in theory, the social media, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook world. Yeah, I really do. I totally do. I don't get the sense. I remember back then during that time that things were so awful. It was so awful. We had no time on our sides. We didn't have players performing anywhere on the park at all. We were conceding loads of goals. We were the worst at conceding goals, all that sort of stuff. And on top of that, you had things that were happening, the Diangana sale, blah, 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 blah. Everything added and sparked into one thing. I've spoke to so many West Ham fans that don't feel the same way. who felt that way back when we played Burnley. So I don't doubt there may be a little section. I think that section may say stuff or do stuff. I think they will be shot down when they realise that 60,000 people aren't following them.
Maybe, yeah.
In my honest opinion, I could be wrong, and I apologise if I am, but I don't sense that vibe. I don't sense that vibe, Russ.
Do you think
5 or 6 games? Yeah.
Do you think if we a good question by West Ham, come on your irons. Do you think if we win, Moyes will be sacked anyway?
I think we spoke about that, didn't we? I think it's a possible. Russ, who knows?
We don't know. I mean, no one knows. I mean, as I said, I tuned into the Toffee TVs because I like to look at what oppositions think of of their preview, so to speak. And Toffee TV, they were saying it was quite funny. I mentioned it on our show yesterday that it was literally he goes right. We're shit. West Ham are shit. We can't score. They can't score. It'll be 5-5. But what we should do is the winner wins Sean Dyche and the loser wins Big Fat Sam. So we have to put them in big cages. And at the end of the game, dependent on the result, they get dropped into the dugout of the representatives. And it's like, it's so true. I mean, it's like, we joke. I mean, we've set up Tommy's thing, El Sakiko. I've done a, job centre thing, and I've got, Moyes there and Lampard behind him. I could have put Conte behind him. I could have put, Brendan Rodgers.
Everyone.
Yeah, put Potter. There's like 5. I mean, after yesterday, Tottenham, Conte out. That's what I mean. One result, really, and Conte out and Tuchel in. That one could happen, I say.
But to answer that question, yes and no. I mean, I've never known in my lifetime, I think we said this again, that you've got 2 managers that either whatever the result could go. It could be. Happy Hammeret's in the house, and you'll be happy, because if Lanzini does decide to go, we've got his doppelganger coming in. Ish.
He's a beautiful man. In fact, so much so that when I did my original thumbnails and I just photoshopped it, I used Lanzini's body because he's got the tattoos like Danny's got the tattoos as well. So there we go. There we go. Right, very very good, very very good. What we got here? We should call the transfer. We should call the press conference the Winks and Nods show. Like winks, nods. Yep, fair enough. Can't be blamed for Skamaka's form. Look at that lovely man. Look at that man. Gordon back in for Everton. Bigger threat than Calvin. It could be. I don't think Dan Juma will be if he signs. I think he's literally having his medical now, so he's unlikely to register him in time for tomorrow. But you could just see that, couldn't you?
Do you want me to? There's actually 10 things you need to know about Danny Ings. Are we ready for this? I'll run through it quickly for you. Yeah. So he was born, obviously, as we know, because we've got an all you need to know video. So go back and check it out.
I'm going to play it at the end of this anyway, so you can see it again.
So he was born in Winchester in Hampshire, north of Southampton. He was raised in Netley, a few miles southeast of Southampton. His father, Shane, played on the wing for local junior club Netley Central Sports, and he started his own career from there. The village is still home to his parents, and he has a tattoo of his father and son holding hands on his chest. He started out with Southampton. He attended the secondary school nearby, and while training with Southampton's academy, he was released by them as a schoolboy and joined Bournemouth, signing a 2-year apprenticeship at the age of 15, just before the Cherries were relegated to League Two. Eddie Howe gave him his senior debut at Southampton at the age of 17 and 3 months in a 2-1 Football League trophy defeat to Northampton Town in October 2009. His manager at the time was current, as we said, Eddie Howe, and he replaced as a second-half substitute as well. He was a teenage scoring star. He scored his first senior goal in a loan spell with Dorset-based Conference South club Dorchester Town against Ebbsfleet United in 2010, aged 18. He returned to Bournemouth and scored his first professional goal in a 3-2 home win over Swindon Town in 2011. Where most of us probably know him is from his time in Burnley, where he really could say he shot them up to the Premier League. Many clubs were linked to him at the time before he joined what's his chops, Sean Dyche at Burnley for a reported fee of around £1 million back in 2011. And he scored 43 goals, as we've said, in that time in 130 appearances. But he scored 21 goals during that little campaign in the AFL Championship, which led to the promotion as well. He then signed for Liverpool. Didn't work out for him necessarily. Probably due to a injury, which really hampered his season mainly. And then he went back to Southampton, where, of course, we've done the stats, and it shows you the amount of goals, 46 goals in 100 appearances, including 41 and 91 in the Premier League. His best individual season to date was in the 1920 season when he scored 22 of Southampton's 51 Premier League goals that led to the club an 11th place finish. Now, I'm telling you what, Russ, if we could emulate, I mean, we've not had a striker score 20 goals for us since who? That should be one of your quiz questions. I bet it is one of yours.
I reckon, what's his name? Harewood.
Well, I don't actually have the answer, but Premier League. Premier League.
Premier League. It might even be.
I don't even think Hartson got 20. Did he?
Yeah, he got 26.
Oh, he did get 26.
But
yeah,
I don't know how many were in the Premier League and how many.
No, I think he got. Yeah.
Lead me to it. Carry on chatting. I'm going to find out.
Right. He is a prolific marksman, which I think you'll enjoy the following stats as well. He's actually ranked joint 67th on the Premier League's all-time individual goal scorers list with 68 goals. He's level with Duncan Ferguson, one behind Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Luis Suarez, and former West Ham player and current coach Kevin Nolan. He ranks 37th, one goal ahead of Marcus Rashford and Callum Wilson. What's this for? I think of Englishmen. He's 37th of Englishmen, one goal ahead of Marcus Rashford and Callum Wilson. 3 more goals would take him to 71, who's level with Chris Armstrong and former West Ham player Brian Deane in joint 30th. He likes facing Everton. 6 of those 68 Premier League goals have come against Everton, his highest tally against any single opponent. As well, he also scored 5 Premier League goals against Aston Villa, Brighton, Palace, and Spurs. So that's the kind of next up for him. And he scored for England. Gareth Southgate gave him his under-21 debut in under-21 Championship San Marino in October 2013. Harry Kane scored a hat-trick. Ravel Morrison also starred in the game, And 2 years later, in 2015, in October, Ings replaced Kane as a second-half substitute and made his senior debut in European Championship qualifying win against Lithuania. He scored his first England goal playing alongside Declan Rice in October 2020 with an overhead kick in a 3-0 friendly win against Wales in Wembley. There's your 10 things you need to know about Mr. Danny Ings.
Very good. Now, I do you know what? I can't see. I'm looking. In terms of league goals,
I don't think we've had one, have we?
The last one I can see, league goals, and this is in the was Sheringham in the Championship. We had 20 in 04-05, had 20 league goals. Harewood, who I thought might have been a good shout, had 17 in the 04-05 season. Hartson, he had 26 goals in total, but I think only 17 were in the Premier League. So it may even be Cotty or McAvenny. In terms
I don't necessarily think Cotty got 20 in the Premier League. He may have got it in the old First Division.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying the Premier League. I mean in terms of the top league.
But in terms of since the Premier League's formation, I don't think we've actually had that striker ever who's actually banged in 20 goals that everyone's looking for. Like you said, Russ, this is probably one of the, how would you describe, you said it earlier on in the show, last old guard. He's not an old guard, he's 30, but last of the kind of old school striker.
Tony Cotty, around the box, Fox in the box type thing. Him, Defoe. You could say. I mean, Hernandez could have been that type of player, but we never played to his strengths. But there's not many out there, who are sort of this type of proven goal scorer. So no, I think it's really cool, really really cool. And actually, he will become the first. If he plays tomorrow, he will be the first ever player to have played in the Premier League for the three clubs, the 3 claret clubs.
Yeah,
so David Unsworth technically would have done it beforehand, but he didn't play for Villa because he went back to Everton with his wife, and Burnley was in the Championship.
Yeah.
So Burnley, Villa, West Ham, all in the Premier League. He's played, and hopefully we will have scored.
Yeah. You go take this signing back in the summer, right? Would I have been happy with Danny Ings? Yes. Would it have followed the model that we were looking at? No. Would the fan base have liked it? It would have been split. Would Danny Ings have got us 6 or 7 goals by now? Well, we've done it for Aston Villa. So I can't see why he potentially wouldn't have done that for us. Would those 6 or 7 goals catapulted us further up the league? Absolutely. Because we have spoke a lot about fine margins. It's easy for us to say he's going to bang in goals. We just need to make sure we feed the man and make sure. What I like about him, though, is he will find those gaps. Sometimes I think that because we play with Skamak up top himself, that we lack that element of finding those gaps and all that sort of stuff. So I think he's going to offer us something we've not seen for a while. A little bit of excitement, Premier League football. He knows the score. But it's all about, for me, Russ, and when you get to see the show that me and Russ do about the predicted 11, it's all about what's there with him.
Yeah.
That's really key. Like, so I think we say, and I won't give it too much away, but defense is key because as much as we don't concede the most in the Premier League, we've got an opportunity to start with what Moyes would have wanted to be his starting choice.
Totally agree.
And then moving into the midfield, do we stick or twist again with a couple of the players? For me, it needs to be twisting, and this is where we need to see the things really shake up. I don't want to say it, like, I don't know. You've got something coming up, haven't you, for everyone?
Yeah, just my
He's texted you, didn't he?
My good friends text me a video.
Hi, West Ham fans. Danny Ings here.
Let's go full screen. Let me do it again. Let me do it again and go full screen. Let me go full screen. Let me zoom it out. Oh, he's done it. He's done a come on you irons as well. So wait and see. Let's get it sorted. Let's go. Right, let's start again. Here we go. Let's go full screen and let's turn it up so we can all hear it. We can all hear this beautiful man. There we go.
See you tomorrow.
There you go.
Hi, West Ham fans. Danny Ings here. Good morning. Just a quick message to say I'm very excited to get going, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Come on, you irons.
And he's done a come on you irons as well.
And he said good morning. I love it.
Yeah, good morning. And he stumbled. You thought he would have done it again. He's had plenty of time to do it twice.
You're right.
But anyway.
Yeah. But like the main thing is he's registered. He's in the squad for tomorrow. Yeah, we all love a hostage video. Well, we don't love them, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you don't say you love a hostage.
I know. So,
but yeah,
listen, it's positive. It's a positive move. It's 11 days before the transfer window shuts, and we've got a signing over the line, and I think we're probably going to see a bit more movement this week, but I think it will depend on the result tomorrow and who's in charge. I think we'll see. I think we'll see movement regardless of what happens to the result tomorrow, because I think there's certain players certain player who's had a thing accepted, but he hasn't gone yet. Because apparently it's West Ham's. It's West Ham's hold up for the Craig Dawson thing, but that might just be us being shitty with them, so he can't play tomorrow, but then he can play in the cup. But he can't play in the cup anyway, because obviously we got the fourth round, haven't we, next week? And obviously Ings won't be playing for that because he's cup tied. Will there be a tribute? Yes, there will be before kickoff. Before kickoff, there'll be a David Gold tribute. I believe from about 1:45 until so it's about a 10-minute tribute apparently. He's sponsored one for. That's an old reference, Toby. That's an old reference. Right, I think I'm buzzing now. I'm excited now. I think the worst thing would have happened is if we signed him and he couldn't play tomorrow because we'd done it. It'd been too slow because that would have been but actually he's there and everyone seems really excited about it. I know it's not the Red Bull model. I know he's not, but he's coming in with, and that's why he's only 12 million quid. In it, that's why it's 12 million quid. Yeah, it's a good bargain for 12 million. There's no sell-on value. We're more than aware than that. He's got a deal until the summer of 2025, so he'll be 32, maybe approaching 33 by the time he gets there. And yeah, I think it's great. But also, he seems by what we're hearing, what we've heard, a really good dressing room guy. A really good, and that's what we need. Well, he does. I mean, I posted a video up on the TikTok of Danny Ings. Must have been back in his Bournemouth days, having a jiggle and a dance in the changing room, and he seems to be quite a popular character. I read something though somewhere. I can't remember. Someone had wrote it down, and this is not a direct dig at Antonio. This is more of a kind of looking at the scenario as a football fan and going, the amount of times that Antonio's broke free through on goal and kind of muffed it up. I love Antonio and I love what career he's given to West Ham. He's made a very good career for himself and I've doubted him several times and he's proven me wrong. But this time I think it is time for him to either leave or to be the complete and utter backup.
Yep.
But the comparison is, who do you want through on goal, Danny Ings or Antonio? Is that an improvement? Yes. Where's the improvement? He's 2 years younger. The next improvement, he's a better finisher. He's prolific. He's a high goal scorer. And if he can get those in those positions, which in theory on paper he should, that Antonio can do when Antonio's on his own, not through being bullish, but from being, breaking the lines, which Antonio has done several times.
Yeah.
The player you want in that ball is a Danny Ings. You want a Danny Ings.
You're totally right. You say that's sort of like, 15, 20 yards out when the ball breaks. Yeah, he hasn't got the bulk, but he's going to have the poise. That's why I think sometimes Antonio is always, for me, it's always like he snatches at things. He snatches. And I think it's because by trade he's not a striker. Ings from the age of Dot has been a striker, and so he knows his role. He knows how he plays. We just have to play to his strengths. And someone said in the comment, how many times do we say this? We buy a player in and we never play to his strengths. Yeah. He will score goals if you play him with a big man up front. Yeah. He will score goals.
There's a massive but to the past to now. We going down for West Ham is disastrous more than probably ever. More than probably ever. Maybe not necessarily financially, because we don't, with the deal we've got in terms of with the stadium and stuff like that. Financially, I'm talking about just the model we're trying to create, everything we're trying to do as a club to be Premier League sound year in, year out, attracting the players. Going down really would scupper any attraction that we ever once had. And we did invest in the summer. It was a window too late for me. And when we did invest before, it was 3 windows too late for me. So that's the difference. And hopefully whoever's in charge, whether that's Moyes or whatever, Sullivan has obviously got control of the money. And that needs to be something that said that you'd rather do your business earlier. I read an article this morning, actually, just on Sky Sports, and it's talking about just when you hear transfers, and I think Postecoglou from Celtic is looking at trying to bring another player in, and they've announced the player from Japan. And when I read the article, he actually said we're under no pressure to bring the player in because we've already done our business earlier on in the transfer window. We've brought our 3 players in. So if this deal goes over the line, yes, do we want the player? Yes. If we don't get him, is it the end of the world? No. So I like that. I like getting
honestly,
done.
People need to go and watch the Deadline Day documentary on Sky. It's 4 parts. It's about 4 half-hour episodes, and it is so fascinating. It's all around the summer transfer window. They follow agents. They speak to clubs. Sullivan makes an appearance in a tank top. Just don't get it. It looks like Ramsey Nesbitt.
Maybe we will do that.
Maybe, yeah. But it's not like one of the tank tops like that. It's one of those where it's a closed neck tank top and it's just the arms. He's like that on his desk. Sonny makes an appearance. I tell you the best one for anyone who, I said this yesterday, for anyone who's an old Championship manager fanatic, they follow Cherno Samba. Now, for anyone who remembers Cherno Samba, 16-year-old, you'd always buy him in Championship Manager. He'd always end up being like a world beater and one of the world's best players. And he's he's an agent now. And it's funny. They talk about Kolasinac, who we were after in the summer, Sasa Kolasinac. And they represent him, and actually they said, and they go to a meeting with West Ham to discuss Kolasinac, and they walk out going, it's a great meeting, I think he's going to sign, and then like no, but it's brilliant in terms of the whole what goes into a transfer, and also from the players' side, they've got this, and it's something which I think we may see come to fruition or play out with Moffey. Now, obviously, Moffey he's at Lorente. We've put a bid in for him. Nice apparently put a bid in for him. His preference, by all accounts, may be to stay in France
because of the bloody weather, and he's playing well.
But also, because he knows, and because of his progression as a player. And actually, they follow a player who was at Club Bruges he's a Belgian international now, Opedendu or something like that, and he has offers to go to the Premier League, but he decides to go to Lens, I think, because he saw it as a stepping stone to go to the Premier League. So rather than the agent say go to the Premier League, go to the Premier League, he goes, well, actually, for your development, I think you should go to Lens first and then the Premier League. So it's like, and so I can see, and it's honestly, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Efficient.
What's interesting about some of the comments in here as well is like the Antonio. I mean, I've not watched the full thing with Antonio.
Yeah.
I've read into it and I've looked at some of the comments he said, and I've done it on one of the shows the other day. And in theory, to make the show kind of entertaining, they've tried to get an answer from him. They've pushed him a lot, and he's not necessarily said anything, in my opinion, wrong. It's just how our interpretation of it is. The difference is when you listen to the Jesse Lingard interview, I listened to the whole section where he talks about West Ham, and he said he just wasn't showing the love. The difference between Jesse Lingard's interview and Antonio's interview was Jesse Lingard could not hide the fact that it was money he was talking about. He tried, but he couldn't. And I do feel sorry for the guy for some of the stuff he's gone through in life, 100%. But what I didn't like was when he said, I just wasn't showing the love. And he kept doing this to Stephen Bartlett. He kept going, I was there. I was part of the club before. He kept doing that with his mouth. You know, they know me. Yeah. Just come and talk to me. They wanted the contract. They gave me the contract on Wednesday. They wanted me to sign it by the Friday. Like, why? And then Nottingham Forest just made me feel the love. The guy wanted to fly me to Greece, flew me all over the place. And I'm like, well, it really, like, you're really highlighting the fact that your main interest here was not really technically love. Love to you was money. At that during that comment.
That's what I was surprised at, because actually sometimes Stephen does ask quite sort of controversial questions, and he never asked that question. And actually, for me, that was a key question when he was saying the love. Does the love mean another $100,000 more a week?
Yeah.
Is that the love? Because actually, we offered and actually one of the things they said was one of the things West Ham apparently said to him was, "We want to win the Europa League. We want to win it with you." Whereas Forest have just come up in the where Forest were like. So it was like, you helped us get into the Europa League. We want to win the conference now, and we can win it with you. But then, surely Forest, you're going to come in with an apprehension that they're going to be going straight down. So clearly, the love was $100,000 a week extra, or whatever it was. But anyway, I totally agree. Is it a coincidence that they put the Moyes one up and then they put the Lingard one the week after? Of course it ain't. Of course it bloody ain't. They saw all the. They saw all the news, all the fans' channels, all the Twitter, all blowing up about Moisey, and they had the Lingard one back.
Watch this space, right? Moisey, sacked from West Ham, takes on Everton, brings in Lingard.
Yeah,
it here first.
Good luck to him. Good luck to him.
You heard it here
snake.
First.
Good luck to him. Oh,
and Antonio.
And Antonio. And Danjuma as well.
Yeah, Danjuma, yeah.
But do you know what? I just can't see. And I've said this before, but what these? I mean, by accounts, Everton. I mean, someone put in the chat, Newcastle. Apparently, it's looking at Antonio. Everton, Newcastle, Forest have inquired. Apparently, Wolves have inquired, and Chelsea. It's 5 Premier League clubs. Are we not seeing something about him?
No. Why? I think the answer is really clear as to why they would bring Antonio into the club, because they'll use him the way that maybe we should have been using him. They're not going to bring him in and start him week in and week out. They'll know when he's not performing that they won't start him. They'll know that he'll be on the bench, and for the last 10 minutes, he will and still can cause defences problems. We just don't use Antonio the right way.
But then he won't want that, will he? Because he's come out and said, I want to be the main man. I want to be starting. So he's not.
I don't necessarily think. I think if he was to sign for a club, I think the only clubs that would take him and start him would be your Nottingham Forests. I'm not being disrespectful to Antonio,
no, it would be,
but I'm meaning that it's don't look a gift horse in the mouth sometimes with this situation. He is a main man at West Ham, and he wants to be more of a main man. And if he wants to be more of a main man, then he needs to look at the scenario. Newcastle are not bringing him in if they are remotely interested. Chelsea the same. To bring him from the start to end every single game, it is not happening. They'll bring in a player in who knows the Premier League, who will cause defences problems, and use him to their advantage. And he probably will do quite well in that role, which is why it's such a shame. And I still wouldn't be surprised if Antonio's still a West Ham player come the summer.
Well, apparently, yeah, because I mean, if it's Moyes has said, he's got a 2-year contract and another 2 years, and he's fully expects him to keep that. I mean, as you said, I think my view is that all these clubs have been watching Dave reruns, highlights of Match of the Day from like 2 years ago when he was absolutely a beast, and I just find it hilarious at the moment. But I think that's why I think we'll see at least. I think we'll see at least another forward come in before the 31st of January, and I can see Antonio going because I could see him getting if we got
probably
10 million for him. I don't think there's no point sending him out on loan. No point on loan. No point, because actually you might as well, as you said, keep him on the bench.
Yep.
If he's upset, unhappy, I don't give a shit because he's a bit player now, and he can come on and do 10 minutes. And then actually play for a contract in the summer. Let him go in the summer if you want, and on a free transfer or whatever, Oh, there's a lot of love for our comments. I agree. This is unusual. Someone agrees with you. I agree with Anton's comments. Nailed it, Russ. Bloody hell, people. All we got to do is sign a striker every time before we do a show. It's piss easy then. Right, fantastic. As I said, we've got loads of stuff coming up. We've got Irish Tommy doing the Late Late Show. That'll be on tonight, 10 o'clock UK time, talking about El Sacico. We'll also have the Hammers headlines. We've got the press conference as well with John with Football London. That'll be out probably late afternoonish today as well. Then we've got match day morning. Hopefully, if I can get to the ground in time, match day morning tomorrow outside the stadium.
We've done a preview.
But we're sort of the starting 11 is a bit like a preview, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll give you a mini one. I'll put a mini one out for you. So that's what I'll do.
When? We ain't got time. Yeah, exactly. So we'll get that done anyway. Loads of stuff coming up, and then obviously, whatever happens, we'll have a review show. We'll have the rating show. If anything happens over the Saturday night, maybe on Sunday. Possibly, we'll be trying to bring it back to you. Although I've got to take Flo to a show, so it definitely will happen on Sunday when I'm not there. But this is the first time I think this season a signing's happened when I'm not in Lakeside. Here?
Yeah.
When I'm not in Lakeside, so that's all good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What we're going to do at the end, we're going to play the video. We did release it earlier today. The latest show. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Listen. So for anyone, listen, I don't even mind. Listen. The whole point of us giving some people a voice who want to have a voice is it's good for difference of opinions, and I quite clearly say to Tommy quite a lot, like, I don't always agree with his opinion, and he's the same as me. He doesn't agree with my opinion sometimes. I think that's what makes it kind of nice and fresh. It gives a fresh approach. It kind of tailors to the needs of people who agree with Tommy and vice versa. Although I'm struggling to defend my opinion on Moyes.
Yeah, I've always said, and some people called me out about it, but I've always said whoever's in the dugout gets my support. Whether it's Moisey, whether it's Benitez, Deitch, whether it's Pellegrini, same as people on the pitch. At least we always do. We did it. We get negative. We get more negative comments than everyone else. I think, to be honest, NWO, to be perfectly fair, because we have a different opinion and people don't agree, and that's why we do it. So someone like Irish Tommy has a very different.
We don't read the negatives.
Of course we do. Yeah.
Are you talking about the comments? We absolutely do.
Oh, we absolutely
do. We just may not agree with them.
Yeah, we absolutely do, NW. Don't worry about that. But, I mean, and same as on the pitch. If Souček plays tomorrow, 70% of people don't want Souček to play, but I'll still support him because he's wearing a West Ham shirt. And come 3 o'clock, we all will. We all support him. It's like, I don't really agree. People say, the best thing we can do is lose some Moyes, lose his job. That's not me. He's lost his marbles too. Don't we all? That'll be the Christmas calendar. That'll be next year. We'll have to do that. We'll have to do it next year. Anyway, guys, we're going to have to shoot, so I've got to go back to work. And thank you for joining me, Anton. It's lovely, as always. As I said, I'll be doing the Hammers headlines, and we'll have the press conference today. And Irish Tommy, God, shitload of shows today, isn't it? Anyway. As I said, we're going to finish the show with the all you know about Danny Ings. And so take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. If you are new around here, where the hell have you been? But over 50% of you aren't subscribers who are watching right now. If you that half could become a subscriber, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? It'd be great.
Yes.
It'd be great. If you want to be really support, and that costs nothing, it's free to subscribe. If you want to support the channel in monetary terms, you can hit the join button and become a member as well. It's all good. And we'll do. Oh, we haven't done the January draw. We'll do it Monday. We'll do the January memorabilia draw on Monday, and we'll probably do 2 actually, because some people haven't claimed their prizes, so I like to get them. They've had a couple of months now to claim them, so. And some signed memorabilia. So all people who become channel members are automatically entered in. It's like a raffle ticket. That's it. So take care, stay well. Thank you, Mr. Baker, and we'll play the little video to see us all out. See ya. Bye bye.